The starship Horizon hovered above the surface of Xiphora, a planet known for its dense purple forests and towering crystal spires. Captain Elena Marsh looked out from the cockpit, her brow furrowed as she studied the readings on her console. The mission was simple on paper. Make first contact with the Xiphoran civilization and establish a diplomatic relationship. In reality, no one knew what to expect. The planet's atmosphere was breathable but unusual, and its inhabitants were rumored to be both intelligent and unpredictable. Altitude holding steady, Lieutenant Kieran said, his voice calm, but carrying a hint of excitement. Sensors show some kind of structure ahead. Could be the palace of their leader. Elena nodded. Keep scanning for energy signatures. We need to know what we're walking into before we land. The structure ahead was enormous, rising like a crystal mountain from the forest floor. Its surface shimmered with a strange metallic glow, reflecting the planet's twin suns in a dazzling array of colors. At the peak, a large dome pulsed softly with light, almost as if it were alive. Energy readings are off the charts, Kieran reported. Definitely intelligent, definitely powerful. We need to be careful. The landing sequence began, and the ship descended slowly through the crystal forests. The trees had translucent leaves, which bent and shimmered with every gust of wind. Strange creatures scuttled and fluttered through the undergrowth, their shapes and colors unlike anything on Earth. As the Horizon touched down on a smooth platform carved from the natural crystal, the crew exchanged cautious glances. The air outside the ship was filled with a soft hum, a vibration that seemed to resonate in their bones. Let's keep this professional, Elena said. Remember, we're guests. Treat them with respect. The landing ramp extended, and the crew stepped out. Immediately, the air seemed warmer, and the light from the crystals bathed everything in a soft purple glow. In the distance, a figure approached, gliding rather than walking. The figure was tall, regal, and alien. Its skin reflected the light like polished glass, and its eyes glowed faintly with a golden hue. Welcome, humans, a voice said, melodic and commanding. Though the creature's mouth moved, the words seemed to echo directly in their minds. I am Lyrith, the Queen of Xiphora. You have crossed the stars to reach my world. Why? Captain Marsh stepped forward. Your Majesty, we come in peace. We wish to learn, to share knowledge, and to build friendship between our species. Lyrith's eyes studied them carefully, as if weighing their sincerity. Then she moved closer, her presence imposing yet strangely comforting. Your kind has courage, that is rare. But courage without wisdom can be dangerous. Follow me. The crew exchanged nervous glances but obeyed. Lyrith led them into the palace, a sprawling structure of crystal and living stone. The walls seemed to shift slightly as they walked, responding to their movements. The air inside was warmer, almost humid, and filled with the scent of something sweet and metallic. This is your palace? Lieutenant Kieran whispered to Elena. It's incredible. Elena nodded but kept her focus on the task at hand. Stay alert. We don't know their customs yet. Lyrith guided them to a central chamber, circular and vast, with a floor of polished crystal. In the middle was a pool of liquid that shimmered like mercury. Its surface rippled, though no wind disturbed it. This is the heart of Xiphora, Lyrith said. It is the source of life and energy for my people. And you, she said, turning to the humans, have caused a disturbance. The crew froze. Elena glanced at Kieran. What kind of disturbance? She asked. The heart overflows when its balance is disrupted, Lyrith explained. Your landing, your ship, your presence. It has unbalanced it. Soon, if not corrected, it will flood this chamber and spread beyond, harming the forest and my people. Elena swallowed. How do we fix it? Lyrith extended a long, elegant limb toward the pool. The solution requires skill, thought, and courage. You must interact directly with the heart. Humans are unusual. They can adapt, think creatively. That is why I have brought you here. Kieran looked at Elena, eyes wide. Are we really supposed to touch it? Yes, Elena said firmly. We don't have a choice. We need to protect this planet and show we are capable of helping. Lirith watched silently as the humans approached the pool. The liquid shimmered and shifted as if alive, reflecting not just their images but fleeting glimpses of visions, stars, forests, creatures, and strange shapes they could not fully understand. Elena knelt and extended a hand toward the surface. The liquid responded, curling and twisting around her fingers like it recognized her touch. It's almost like it's alive, Kieran whispered. He reached out carefully, and the liquid moved around him as well. It pulsed and shimmered, responding to their thoughts and emotions. Focus your mind, Lirith's voice echoed in their minds. Balance your intent with care. The heart will obey those who understand it, but it will resist those who rush or fear. Elena closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She visualized the pool stabilizing, the liquid calming and retreating to its proper level. Kieran mirrored her movements, and together, they felt a subtle shift, as though the heart recognized their effort. Suddenly, the liquid surged upward, forming a towering wave that threatened to spill over. Kieran shouted, "Step back!" But Elena held her ground, directing her focus. The wave seemed to pause, then slowly recede as she guided it. The heart finally settled, glowing softly, its surface smooth once again. The chamber's temperature normalized, and the air shimmered with a gentle light. Lirith observed them, her eyes glowing warmly. "You have done well," she said. "Few outsiders have the skill and patience to calm the heart. You have proven your courage, your intelligence, and your adaptability." The humans exhaled, relief flooding their bodies. Kieran grinned. "That was incredible. I never thought I'd touch something alive like that." Elena nodded, still cautious. "We're not finished yet. We need to learn more about this place, understand their needs, and ensure we don't cause harm again." Lirith smiled. "Indeed. Your actions have earned you trust. But trust is only the beginning. You must learn, adapt, and continue to prove yourselves worthy. The challenges of Zyphora are many, and only those who show wisdom, courage, and empathy can survive and thrive here." The crew spent the rest of the day exploring the palace under Lirith's guidance. They observed creatures tending the crystal gardens, machines that seemed to run on thought alone, and hallways that shifted to guide them safely. Every step was a lesson in humility, a reminder of the vast differences between humans and the Zyphorans. At the end of the day, they gathered again before the heart. Lirith addressed them. "Tomorrow, you will face another test. The heart is only one aspect of Zyphora's delicate balance. There are other elements, other challenges that require your ingenuity. Prepare yourselves, humans, for the trials ahead will be unlike anything you have faced before." As they returned to their ship for the night, Elena looked out over the alien landscape. The purple forests glimmered under the twin moons, and the crystal spires reflected the light in mesmerizing patterns. She felt a mix of awe and apprehension. Zyphora was beautiful, dangerous, and alive. And now, humans had a role to play in its survival. "Tomorrow will be harder," Kieran said quietly as they prepared for sleep. Elena nodded. "Yes. But we can handle it. We have to. Humanity isn't just exploring the stars, we're learning how to protect them too." And as the twin moons rose higher, casting silver light across the crystal towers, the crew of the Horizon realized that their adventure had only just begun. The challenges of Zyphora would test every skill they had, and perhaps reveal the true potential of human ingenuity and courage. The morning sun of Zyphora rose over the crystal spires, casting long beams of light across the purple forests. Captain Elena Marsh stretched as she looked out from the observation deck of the Horizon. The events of the previous day still felt surreal. Humans had touched the heart of Zyphora and calmed it, an act that the alien queen, Lirith, called rare and courageous. Yet Elena knew this was only the beginning. Lieutenant Kieran joined her, a tablet in hand. "We've reviewed the data from yesterday. The heart's reaction was fascinating. It responded not just to touch, but to our focus, our emotions. It's almost as if it senses intent, Elena nodded. It's alive in a way we don't fully understand. But that also means it can test us, challenge us, maybe even teach us. We need to be ready for whatever comes next. The landing ramp extended once more, and the crew stepped carefully onto the crystalline platform. Lirith awaited them, her elegant figure glowing softly under the morning light. Her eyes, golden and luminous, reflected both authority and curiosity. "You are prepared," she said, her voice echoing in their minds as if carried on a breeze. "Today, you face the trial of the crystals. The heart is only one part of Xiphora. The planet itself is alive, and its balance is fragile. You must navigate its challenges to show your understanding and respect." Elena exchanged a glance with Kieran. "Trial of the crystals?" she asked. Lirith inclined her head. "Follow me, and you will see." They walked through corridors of shifting crystal. Each step emitted a faint tone, almost musical, resonating with the chamber around them. The walls glimmered, creating the illusion of motion even when still. The humans could feel a gentle vibration in the floor, subtle but constant. It was as though the palace itself was alive, responding to their presence. Finally, they arrived in a vast chamber, where giant crystal formations rose like jagged mountains. The colors shifted from violet to deep blue, refracting light in dazzling patterns. The air was thick with energy, and a low hum filled the room. "This is the crystal labyrinth," Lirith said. "Its paths shift, and its obstacles respond to those who enter. You must reach the core at its center, retrieve a fragment of the living crystal, and return it to me. Only then will you demonstrate your understanding of Xiphora's balance." Kieran let out a low whistle. "A labyrinth? And it's alive?" "Yes," Lirith replied. "It adapts. It challenges your mind and tests your courage. It will reflect your fears, your doubts, and your strengths. Be mindful." Elena stepped forward, determination shining in her eyes. "Let's do this carefully. Observe everything. Think before we act, and work as a team." The humans entered the labyrinth. The first thing they noticed was that the crystal walls were constantly shifting, subtly at first, then more dramatically. Hallways elongated, shortened, and twisted in impossible angles. The reflections in the walls created duplicates of themselves, making it difficult to know which path was real. "This is disorienting," Kieran muttered, reaching out to touch a wall. The crystal shimmered under his fingertips, then solidified in a different shape. "It's like it's watching us," Elena nodded. "It is. Focus on your senses, not just your eyes. Listen to the vibrations. Feel the air currents. The labyrinth reacts to us. Yes, but it also communicates. We have to understand it, not just push through blindly." They moved deeper into the labyrinth, encountering small puzzles along the way. Some corridors required them to step on crystals in a precise sequence to avoid traps or to open new paths. Others demanded careful coordination between the crew, with Kieran guiding Elena through narrow passages while she adjusted the angles of reflective crystals to unlock doors. As they progressed, the labyrinth became more challenging. Reflections multiplied, creating illusions that made it seem like they were walking in endless circles. Strange whispers, soft and melodic, echoed around them, making their heads spin. "Focus," Elena reminded them. "The labyrinth is testing our minds as much as our movements. Stay calm. Trust each other." Hours passed, though it felt longer. The humans relied on intuition, teamwork, and clever thinking to navigate the ever-changing corridors. Every obstacle forced them to adapt, improvise, and communicate clearly. And slowly, they began to see patterns. The crystal shifts were not random, but mirrored their thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Finally, they reached a circular chamber at the labyrinth's center. A massive crystal rose from the floor, glowing with a deep blue light. Its surface pulsed gently, as though breathing. Surrounding it were smaller crystal fragments, shimmering in the air, suspended by some invisible force. "This must be the core," Kieran whispered. "It's beautiful." Elena approached cautiously, extending her hand toward a fragment. The crystal responded immediately, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. Kieran mirrored her, and together, they carefully lifted a fragment. The core shimmered in recognition, its light spreading softly throughout the chamber. "Excellent." Lirith's voice echoed from the entrance. "You have reached the core, demonstrated understanding, and taken only what was necessary. You respect Scifi, and it has accepted your presence." As they turned to leave, the labyrinth shifted again. But this time, the path was clearer. It seemed to guide them gently back to the exit, as though acknowledging their success. Outside, the air felt lighter, and the sunlight sparkled on the crystal spires. The crew exhaled, a mixture of relief and pride washing over them. "You did it," Kieran said, grinning. "I never thought we'd make it through alive, let alone with a fragment of the core." Arner fred. Elena smiled, though she remained focused. "We did it because we stayed calm, observed, and worked together. That's what humans do best. We think, adapt, and cooperate. That's how we survive challenges like this." Lirith approached them, her golden eyes glowing warmly. "You have proven your courage, your intellect, and your respect for Scifi. Few outsiders achieve this. The labyrinth is only one of many tests, but your success shows promise. Humanity has potential beyond what even I anticipated." The humans felt a mix of awe and humility. The alien queen's words were praise, but also a reminder that the journey was far from over. Scifi was a planet of challenges, alive and ever-changing, and their presence carried responsibility. "Tomorrow," Lirith continued, "you will face the trial of the elements. Fire, water, air, and crystal energy. All will challenge you. Only by understanding the balance of Scifi and applying your skills can you hope to succeed." Elena nodded. "We will be ready. Humanity adapts, and we do not give up. We learn, we observe, and we find solutions." As the crew returned to the horizon, Kieran looked out at the forests below. Strange creatures moved among the trees, some curious, some cautious, but all part of the delicate ecosystem of the planet. "Every challenge here is a lesson," Kieran said quietly. "The planet itself teaches us. I've never experienced anything like this." Elena placed a hand on his shoulder. "And we must respect every lesson. Scifi is alive, and we are guests. Our ingenuity, our courage, and our cooperation are what will allow us to survive and thrive here. That is the essence of humanity." That night, as they prepared for rest, Elena reflected on the trials so far. The heart had tested their courage, the labyrinth had tested their intellect, and both had shown them the importance of humility, teamwork, and respect. She knew the upcoming trial of the elements would push them further, demanding not just skill, but understanding of the planet itself. The twin moons of Scifi rose high above the crystal forests, casting silver light across the spires. The humans of the horizon gazed at them, feeling both small and extraordinary. They were explorers, problem solvers, and protectors in a world that was alive, intelligent, and full of mysteries. And as the winds whispered through the crystalline trees, carrying the soft hum of the planet, Elena realized that this mission was not just about first contact, it was about discovering the potential of humanity, the strength of cooperation, and the courage to face the unknown. Tomorrow would bring new trials, new challenges, and new opportunities, and humanity, resilient and resourceful, would rise to meet them. The next morning, the crew of the horizon awoke to the soft glow of Scifi's twin suns. The air outside shimmered with the subtle vibrations of the planet, as if it were aware of their every movement. Captain Elena Marsh stretched and took a deep breath, feeling a sense of anticipation. Today, Lirith had warned, would be the most demanding challenge yet. The Trial of the Elements. Lieutenant Kieran joined her at the observation deck. "I've reviewed our notes from yesterday," he said, tapping his tablet. "The heart, the labyrinth. Each challenge required focus, teamwork, and adaptability. But the trial of the elements, it sounds unpredictable. Fire, water, air, and crystal energy. We don't know what to expect." Elena nodded. "That's exactly why we need to stay sharp. Each element represents a different kind of problem. If we apply our reasoning, creativity, and trust in each other, we can handle it." The landing ramp extended, and the crew stepped onto the crystalline platform. Lyrith awaited them, her golden eyes reflecting the sunlight. She raised a hand, and the platform beneath them shifted, forming a path of glowing crystal tiles leading toward a massive open chamber. "This is the arena of elements," Lyrith said, her voice resonating in their minds. "Within this chamber, the 4 primary forces of Sci-Fi are concentrated. To succeed, you must interact with each element, understand its nature, and bring it into balance with the others. Only then will the trial be complete." Elena exchanged a glance with Kieran. "Balance, not force," she murmured. "We need to work with the elements, not fight them." The humans entered the chamber. It was enormous, nearly a kilometer across, with walls of living crystal that pulsed with energy. At its center stood 4 pedestals, each representing an element. One burned with a contained flame that danced without consuming. Another held a pool of liquid that shimmered with constant motion. The third emitted powerful winds in controlled vortices, and the last glowed with radiant crystal energy that seemed to hum in response to thought. "The elements are alive," Lyrith said. "They will react to your intentions, your actions, and your understanding. Approach with respect and observation." Elena stepped toward the flame pedestal. She could feel the heat radiating without danger, and the fire seemed to move rhythmically, almost like it was breathing. She extended her hand slowly, allowing the flames to dance across her fingertips without burning. "It's not dangerous," she whispered to Kieran. "It's testing patience and control." Kieran nodded and approached the water pedestal. The liquid rippled and shimmered as he neared it, forming shapes and patterns that reflected his movements. "It's like it's aware of me," he said, placing his hands above the surface. The water responded, forming a gentle wave that moved in harmony with his gestures. "We need to synchronize with each element, not force it." As they worked with the first 2 elements, the crystal pedestal pulsed in response. The energy seemed to test their mental focus, presenting illusions and visions that challenged their perception. Elena felt a brief wave of doubt. Images of the crew failing, the palace flooding, the planet in chaos. She shook her head and focused, reminding herself of the lessons from the labyrinth. The crystal responded, stabilizing and glowing steadily. Kieran turned to the wind pedestal, feeling the currents swirl around him. The air shifted unpredictably, forming sudden gusts and whirlwinds. He raised his arms, moving carefully to redirect the flow. By observing the patterns and responding thoughtfully, he guided the wind into a calm, balanced state, the vortices shrinking and moving in harmony with the other elements. Elena and Kieran then worked together to connect all 4 elements. Fire, water, air, and crystal energy responded to their combined movements. The chamber glowed with radiant light as the elements intertwined, forming patterns of balance and harmony. The humans felt the subtle energy of Sci-Fi flowing through them, acknowledging their effort and cooperation. Lyrith's voice echoed through the chamber. "You have understood the essence of Sci-Fi. Courage alone is not enough. Intellect alone is not enough. Only those who combine thought, skill, and respect can master the elements. You have done so." Suddenly, the chamber shifted. The floor tiles moved, creating a new pattern that led to a central platform. On it lay a single, perfectly shaped crystal, larger than any the humans had seen before. Its surface shimmered with all 4 elemental energies, and it seemed to radiate a quiet, commanding presence. "This is the elemental keystone," Lyrith said. It is a symbol of balance and unity. By reaching it, you demonstrate not only mastery of the elements, but also the capacity for cooperation, observation, and human ingenuity. Take it and return it to the heart. Elena stepped forward cautiously, Kieran at her side. The keystone responded to their presence, glowing brighter as they approached. It lifted gently into Elena's hands, surprisingly light despite its size, and pulsed with warmth. Balance is maintained, Lirith said. Now, return it to the heart. But beware. The elements will test you even on the path back. Respect and careful action are required. The humans retraced their steps through the chamber. This time, the elements moved more actively, testing their focus and coordination. Fire swirled unexpectedly. Water formed rapid currents. Wind gusted strongly. And crystal energy created shifting obstacles. Elena and Kieran guided each other carefully, using hand signals, verbal cues, and intuition to respond quickly to the changing environment. At one point, a sudden surge of energy caused the wind pedestal to whirl violently. Kieran grabbed Elena's arm, directing her movements to counter the force. Working together, they stabilized the pedestal, calming the wind and allowing the elements to remain balanced. The chamber seemed to acknowledge their success. The pedestal's energies merged into a harmonious flow, guiding the humans safely toward the exit. Outside, the sunlight reflected on the crystal spires, creating a dazzling display of color and energy. Lirith approached them as they emerged. Her expression radiated approval. You have succeeded where few outsiders could. The trial of the elements is meant not to punish, but to teach. Humanity has shown patience, intelligence, and cooperation. These qualities are rare and precious. You honor your species and your homeworld by demonstrating them here. Elena felt a surge of pride, but also humility. We could not have done it alone, she said. Every member of our crew, every decision we made together, brought us here. That is the strength of humanity. Teamwork, observation, and adaptability. Kieran smiled. And maybe a little courage, he added, glancing at the glowing keystone in Elena's hands. Lirith's eyes glimmered with warmth. Courage, yes. But more importantly, wisdom and respect. You understand that every action has consequences, that every challenge requires thought and care. That is why the keystone responded to you. Elena turned the keystone over in her hands. Its glow shifted with each movement, reflecting the four elements in perfect harmony. She felt a connection to the planet, subtle but unmistakable, as if Scifi itself recognized their efforts. Tomorrow, Lirith continued, you will face the final trial. It will test all you have learned. The heart, the labyrinth, the elements. Only by combining courage, intellect, teamwork, and respect for life can you succeed. Prepare yourselves, for the path ahead will demand your best. The humans returned to the horizon, exhausted but exhilarated. The challenges of the day had tested them physically, mentally, and emotionally. But they had emerged stronger, more confident, and more united. Each crew member understood the importance of observation, patience, and collaboration, not just for survival, but for earning the trust of an alien world. As night fell, the twin moons rose above the crystal forests, casting silver light across the spires. Elena stood at the observation deck, gazing at the planet below. The colors, the energies, the life forms, all of it reminded her of the responsibility they carried. Scifi was alive, intelligent, and beautiful, and humans had a role in protecting its balance. Kieran joined her quietly. Do you think we're ready for the final trial? Elena took a deep breath, feeling the calm determination that had carried them through so many challenges. We have no choice but to be ready. Humanity adapts. We think, and we work together. That is how we face the unknown. That is how we succeed. And as the wind whispered through the crystalline forests, carrying the soft hum of the planet, the humans of the horizon prepared themselves for the final test. The trial of unity would require everything they had learned, demanding courage, intelligence, cooperation, and respect. But Captain Elena Marsh knew one thing with certainty. Humanity was capable of rising to any challenge. And Scifi, alive and intelligent, would see that potential in them. The twin moons reflected off the crystal spires, casting long beams of light across the forests, a silent reminder that the adventure was far from over, and that greatness often awaited those willing to learn, adapt, and act with courage. The sun rose over the crystal spires of Scifi, casting long beams of violet and silver across the forests below. Captain Elena Marsh stood on the observation deck of the horizon, her mind focused. Today was the final trial, the trial of unity. The heart, the labyrinth, and the elements had tested their courage, intelligence, and cooperation. Now, the humans would face the ultimate challenge, combining all they had learned to preserve the delicate balance of the planet itself. Lieutenant Kieran joined her, carrying the elemental keystone. The Queen said this trial will demand everything we've learned. I've never seen anything like it. Are we ready? Elena held the keystone carefully, feeling its warmth and faint pulsing energy. We've been ready from the start. Humanity adapts. We think. We cooperate. That's how we survive. And that's how we will succeed here. Let's trust ourselves and each other. The landing ramp extended, and the crew stepped onto the platform. Lyrith awaited them, her presence calm yet commanding. Her golden eyes reflected both confidence and anticipation. You have proven your courage, intelligence, and respect for Scifi, she said. The final trial requires you to combine all those qualities. The heart, the labyrinth, and the elements are connected. The balance of the planet depends on your actions. Are you prepared to face the trial of unity? Elena nodded. We are ready. Lyrith gestured toward a wide, circular chamber. Enter, and you will begin. The humans stepped inside. The chamber was immense, its walls made of living crystal that shimmered and shifted as they walked. At its center, the heart of Scifi pulsed with gentle light, surrounded by the energy of the elements, forming a pattern that was complex and constantly moving. The labyrinth paths extended from the center, intertwining with streams of fire, water, wind, and crystal energy. This is it, Kieran whispered. All the trials combined. Elena took a deep breath. Observe, plan, and act carefully. The planet is alive. It will react to us, but we must act with purpose and respect. The first challenge was the heart itself. It pulsed erratically, sensing their approach. The liquid shimmered, forming shapes and images that reflected their previous experiences. The labyrinth, the fire, the water, the wind, the crystal energy. It was as if Scifi was reminding them of all the lessons they had learned. Elena extended her hands toward the heart, guiding it with steady focus. Kieran mirrored her movements, synchronizing their thoughts and actions. Slowly, the heart's surface stabilized, glowing softly in acknowledgement. Next, they entered the paths of the labyrinth. The corridors shifted as they moved, reflecting their thoughts, fears, and teamwork. Illusions of failure and setbacks appeared, but the humans stayed calm, communicating and working together to navigate through the constantly changing passages. Every puzzle and obstacle tested their ability to coordinate, adapt, and make decisions under pressure. Once they emerged from the labyrinth, the trial moved to the elements. The 4 pedestals glowed with fire, water, wind, and crystal energy. The humans approached carefully, remembering how each element had reacted to focus, patience, and cooperation. They worked in perfect harmony, balancing the forces, guiding them into equilibrium, and ensuring none overwhelmed the others. The energy in the chamber surged as all 3 trials, heart, labyrinth, and elements interacted. Waves of light and sound pulsed through the space. The humans felt the planet's energy flowing through them, subtle but undeniable. It was a test not just of skill, but of understanding and empathy. Suddenly, the chamber shook, and the energies became chaotic. The heart pulsed violently, The labyrinth paths twisted unpredictably, and the elements surged. A large crystal fragment broke loose, threatening to disrupt the balance entirely. Kieran shouted, "We have to stabilize it." Elena acted quickly, placing the elemental keystone at the center of the chamber. Its energies merged with the heart and the surrounding elements. The humans focused their attention, channeling thought, patience, and cooperation into the keystone. Slowly, the chaos began to subside. The heart pulsed evenly. The labyrinth paths aligned, and the elements harmonized. The chamber glowed brightly as a soft hum filled the air, vibrating in harmony with the humans' movements. It was as though Scifi itself recognized their efforts, rewarding them for their understanding and respect. Lirith's voice echoed, filled with pride. "You have succeeded where few outsiders could. The trial of unity is complete. You have demonstrated courage, intelligence, teamwork, and respect for life. Humanity has proven its potential." Elena felt a wave of relief and accomplishment. "We did it," she said, her voice soft but firm. "We respected the planet, worked together, and stayed focused." "That's what made the difference," Kieran grinned. "I've never felt energy like that before. It's incredible. Like the planet itself is alive and grateful." Lirith approached them, her presence warm and majestic. "The keystone will remain with the heart, symbolizing the unity and balance you have achieved. You have earned not only my respect, but the trust of Scifi itself. Few species ever reach this stage." Elena and Kieran exchanged a glance, feeling a mix of pride and humility. They had faced challenges unlike any they had ever imagined, yet they had succeeded through observation, cooperation, and courage. Humanity had shown its ingenuity, adaptability, and strength in a world far beyond Earth. "The trials were not just tests," Lirith continued. "They were lessons. Courage without understanding, intelligence without respect, and action without empathy can harm a world. You have combined all these qualities, and that is why you succeeded. Remember this, for your actions will shape not only your future, but the future of all worlds you encounter." The humans spent the rest of the day exploring the chamber and observing Scifi's living systems. Streams of energy flowed through the crystal spires, connecting forests, rivers, and mountains in ways that defied human understanding. Strange creatures moved freely, interacting with the environment and each other, demonstrating the planet's harmony. Elena felt a deep sense of awe. "This world is unlike anything we've seen. It's alive, intelligent, and beautiful, and it trusts us now, thanks to how we approached its challenges." Kieran nodded. "We've learned so much, not just about the planet, but about ourselves. Humanity can rise to challenges if we think, adapt, and work together." As night fell, the twin moons of Scifi rose over the crystal forests, casting silver and violet light across the landscape. The humans of the horizon gathered on the observation platform, looking out at the shimmering spires and vibrant forests. The planet seemed calm, peaceful, and alive. Acknowledging their efforts with a subtle glow that reflected in their eyes, Elena turned to her crew. "We came here to make first contact, but we've done more than that. We've shown that humanity is capable of courage, intelligence, and cooperation in the face of the unknown. Scifi has taught us lessons that we will carry with us forever." Kieran smiled. "And tomorrow, we can start building a real relationship with the Queen and her people. We've earned that chance." Lirith appeared before them, her golden eyes radiating approval. "You have succeeded in all trials. You have earned not only my trust, but the trust of Scifi. Remember, humans, that your strength lies in thought, courage, and cooperation. That is what makes your species remarkable." Elena held the elemental keystone, now calm and steady in her hands. "We will not forget these lessons," she said. "Humanity will continue to learn, adapt, and strive to be worthy of the trust we've been given." As the night deepened, the humans of the horizon looked out over the living forests, the shimmering spires, and the flowing streams of energy. Scifi had tested them, challenged them, and taught them, and they had risen to every occasion. They had proven that human ingenuity, courage, and cooperation could thrive even in a world far beyond their own. And as the twin moons reflected their light across the crystal towers, Captain Elena Marsh felt a profound sense of accomplishment. Humanity had not only survived the trials of Scifi, they had excelled. They had shown that even in the vast unknown of the universe, the human spirit could rise, adapt, and thrive. The adventure was complete, but the lessons would endure. Humanity had faced the unknown and had proven its worth, leaving a lasting mark on a world that was alive, intelligent, and beautiful. The stars beckoned beyond Scifi, but the humans knew that the courage, intelligence, and cooperation they had demonstrated here would guide them wherever they went. And in the silence of the night, as the twin moons bathed the crystal spires in silver light, Scifi hummed softly, a gentle acknowledgement of the humans who had risen to meet its greatest challenges.